Unlocking Academic English. Adverbial connectives, cohesive devices and discourse markers. In this lesson we focus on cohesive devices, also known as discourse markers or adverbial connectives. These are the words and phrases that act as bridges between ideas, guiding readers and listeners through the thoughts and arguments constructed by the writer or speaker. The word cohesive is an adjective and means to be formed into a whole. Cohesive devices are crucial in communication, as they are the elements that allow ideas to flow and connect seamlessly. This flowing quality of writing and speech is often referred to as the quality of being coherent or having coherence. Let's look at some examples. In each set of statements provided, the first statement will contain a cohesive device, then it will be repeated without one. Notice the difference in the quality of the communication in each example. Although she was tired, she decided to go for a run. She was tired. She decided to run. He wanted to go out. However, the weather was terrible. He wanted to go out. The weather was terrible. She was studying for her exam. Meanwhile, her friends were enjoying a movie. She was studying for her exam. Her friends were enjoying a movie. The study found that exercise improves mental health. Furthermore, it boosts cognitive function. The study found that exercise improves mental health. It boosts cognitive function. The research shows a link between smoking and cancer. Moreover, it highlights the risks of secondhand smoke. The research shows a link between smoking and cancer. It highlights the risks of secondhand smoke. The experiment yielded consistent results. Therefore, the hypothesis was confirmed. The experiment yielded consistent results. The hypothesis was confirmed. Cohesive devices function as adverbials, which is why they can also be referred to as connective adverbs, transitional adverbs, or conjunctive adverbs. While they are commonly used at the beginning of a sentence, they can also be placed in other parts of the sentence, such as the in the middle or the end. They function as adverbs because they modify the entire sentence or clause, providing additional information about the speaker's attitude, stance, or perspective on the topic being discussed. They serve as signposts, hence why they can also be referred to as discourse markers, indicating the relationship between ideas or signaling a shift in focus, tone, or direction within the discourse. Consider the discourse marker, however. For example, when used at the beginning of a sentence, it signals a contrast or contradiction to the previous statement. For instance, they were interested in making the purchase. However, the logistics company was unable to satisfy the terms of shipment. Here, however, is used to introduce a contrasting idea to the desire to fulfill the agreement. Discourse markers can also be placed in other parts of the sentence. For example, the supplier was willing to meet the client's price demands. Their logistics company, however, could not fulfill on the delivery end. In this case, however, placed in the middle of the sentence, still serves the same function of introducing the contrasting idea. Note that because these phrases function as adverbials, they should be demarcated with commas. Refer to our grammar guide for more on clauses and comma placement. Given below is a list of 64 cohesive devices, connective adverbials or discourse markers alphabetically sorted, with a short description of what they do provided. Please note that this list is not exhaustive. Hopefully, in studying this list closely, you will better understand the significance of these phrases when you encounter them in your studies. Lastly, we would encourage you to use these phrases in your own speech and writing above all. Also, most importantly or most significantly, emphasizes the most important point. Additionally, also in addition, what's more, adds more information or ideas. Afterward, indicates a subsequent or following event. Also, indicates inclusion or addition. Alternatively, presents a different option or choice. Although, introduces a contrast or contradiction. Basically, provides a simple or fundamental explanation. Besides, indicates an additional point or reason. But, introduces a contrasting idea or exception. Certainly, indicates certainty or agreement. Clearly, indicates clarity or obviousness. Comparatively, also by comparison, indicates a comparison between two things. Consequently, also as a result, indicates that something occurs as a result or consequence. Conversely, introduces an opposite or contrasting viewpoint. Currently, also presently, at the moment, and as of now, indicates the present time or situation. Definitely indicates certainty or agreement. Despite indicates a contrast or contradiction. Elsewhere refers to a different place or location. Equally indicates similarity or equality between two ideas. Eventually shows the culmination or end of a process. Evidently indicates clear evidence or proof. Finally indicates the last or concluding point. Firstly, also initially and to begin, indicates the first point in a series to follow. Frequently indicates a high frequency or recurrence. Furthermore, adds more information or supports a previous point. Generally, also in general, indicates a general or overall situation. Gradually indicates a slow or gradual change or process. Hence, shows the reason or purpose behind something. Hopefully indicates a hopeful or optimistic expectation. However, introduces a contrasting or contradictory idea. In conclusion, summaries or wraps up the main points. In contrast, highlights a difference or opposing viewpoint. In detail, indicate a thorough or comprehensive explanation or examination of something. In fact, emphasizes the truth or reality of a statement. In other words, restates or clarifies something in a different way. In short, also in summary and to sum up, summarizes or gives a brief explanation. Indeed, emphasizes a point or supports an argument. Initially, indicates the beginning or starting point. Instead, indicates a choice or alternative action. Likewise, shows similarity or agreement between two things. Meanwhile, indicates a simultaneous or contrasting action. Moreover, adds another point or strengthens an argument. Naturally, indicates something that is expected or typical. Nevertheless, also nonetheless, introduces a contrasting idea or concession. Notably, indicates something that is worthy of attention or notice. Obviously, also apparently, indicates something that is readily apparent or evident. On the other hand, presents an alternative or opposing viewpoint, often preceded by a statement prefaced with, on one hand, otherwise, indicates a different outcome or alternative action. Overall, indicates a general or overall assessment or conclusion. Particularly, also in particular, indicates something that is specific or exceptional. Presumably, indicates something that is assumed or likely. Previously, indicates something that happened before a specific time or event. Significantly, also importantly, indicates that something is important or has a deeper meaning or relevance. Similarly, shows a similarity or comparison between two ideas. Subsequently, indicates a sequence of events or actions. Suddenly, indicates a sudden or quick action or event. Therefore, shows a logical conclusion or result. Thus, indicates a consequence or conclusion. To illustrate, provides an example or visual aid. Ultimately, indicates the final or ultimate outcome. Unfortunately, also sadly, or regrettably, indicates that something unfavorable has occurred. Whereas, indicates a contrast or comparison between two things. While, indicates a contrast or simultaneous action. Yet, introduces a contrasting idea